Awesome. What's up, guys? How's everybody doing tonight? Happy Monday. What a beautiful day today. I hope it's pretty where you are. Thank you guys for hopping on tonight on our onboarding call. My name is Kyle Kimbrough. My wife and I, Joey, have been in this business with LifeWave now for, 2 years, actually, almost to the day. We're getting closer and closer to our 2 year anniversary. And LifeWave has been the most fun ride that we've had in a really, really long time. And so we're honored to be a part of this company, to represent this company, and to share this company and this technology with so many people. And so the purpose of this call tonight is I want to give you just a little highlight, briefly our background, briefly David Schmidt and the company's background. And then I want to kind of show you where a few things are located. I want to help make sure if you're new to this, that you understand where our resources are and how to get to them. And so I'll tell you this though, very quickly. Everyone has a testimony wearing a patch, and some are very extreme and some aren't quite as extreme, but everyone has a testimony. That's what's so cool about what we do. And so, my testimony is the fact that I was 40 years old and completely broken from college athletics, and had a knee that wasn't put together right surgically, with every ligament inside of it torn, and had a shoulder that was the same. And when I put these patches on, it's like I was awakened to myself in a state that I hadn't felt in a long time. And so my mental clarity that I experienced was just, I mean, it was incredible, right? My brain fog was gone, my energy, my sleep, like all the basic things that are really, really, really important, that they go well, your energy, your sleep, things like that, were through the roof, better than I've ever felt. But what was so fascinating for me, and what really just caught my attention, is the way that I began to feel through my knee, my injured knee, and my injured shoulder. Again, I had injuries that were 20 years old, and they had limited me my entire life since that point, and caused me to act like I was 60 at age 40, to be honest with you. That's kind of how I felt. And these brought me back, not even to 40, but I feel like I'm 30 again physically, to where I can do things and I can move in ways and I can work out and I can play certain sports that I haven't been able to do in 20 years. And that was a big deal for me. The other thing was my wife saw the exact same type of improvement. She saw anxiety go way, way, way down. She had floaters in her eyes that were just taken away at a very quick state as well. She had the energy, she had the sleep. We joke all the time and we say we take a lot of vitamins, because we do. We're very healthy. We try to biohack as much as we can. But the one thing that I will always recognize about 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, if I forget, is my patch. If I don't wear my patch, it's a problem, right? Everything else I can go on throughout the day without, but not a patch. And so that's kind of our brief story and how we got involved in this. I ended up calling Devin Robinson. Devin and Sarah are our uplines, great, amazing leaders, and they got us into this business, and we took off from there. But, here's the thing about what we do and what you guys do. Since you are now on this call and you have joined LifeWave, and you are officially, if you've never been before, you are now a CEO. You are an entrepreneur, and you are the CEO of this business. And guys, I'm going to tell you something. It's the greatest thing and it's the worst thing about what we do. The greatest thing about what we do is we have full autonomy. No one tells us where to go, where to be there, what time to be there, or what to do. We get to choose every minute of every day how we spend it inside of this business. It's the greatest thing about it, right? Total freedom. It's also the worst thing about it. Total freedom. No one's telling you what to do and when to do it. Because so many times, if correct me if I'm wrong, but like when it's left up to us, our default setting is not always the most healthiest, right? The standards that we have set for ourselves are not always the winning standards that we need as an entrepreneur or as a CEO if we've never been one before. Sometimes it's hard to motivate yourself every day to get up and do work and invest into your business and pour into other people when you don't have somebody telling you what to do. So the first thing I want to tell you tonight is recognize that, and recognize that you are a CEO and you are your own boss. Okay. Now let me tell you the best way that I have found to help with that. Okay. A lot of people, they want to wait until they get motivated and they get inspired, right? And then they think, man, if I got motivated, I could get into action. What do I need to do to motivate me? That's backwards. Okay. You never rarely get motivated and then get into action, or at least any productive action long term. How it works is this: you get into action first, then you get motivated. See, action precedes motivation. And you need to recognize that as entrepreneurs, that you have to get into action before you're going to find motivation. I love to work out. You hear me talk about that a lot. I have to move my body 5, 6, 7 days a week, or I just don't feel like myself. And very rarely am I fired up to work out. It's not very often. I'm usually not wanting to do it, whether it's we have a home gym in the barn or whether I go to the gym with Joe, my wife. I'm usually not excited. But the moment I get into action, about 3 or 4 minutes in, I'm ready and I get it done. And I never leave regretting it. Ever. The only times in my life that I regret something around working out is when I regret don't doing it. I never regret doing it. That is this business. You will never regret spending time in this business because every amount of time that you spend, it compounds, guys. This business, your work, your effort, it compounds. And it compounds and it compounds 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour. And you think it's not doing anything, and you look up 100 hours later, and all of a sudden you've built something. Okay? You'll never regret not doing it. So action precedes, which means goes before motivation. But listen, accountability is more important than action. Okay? So if you're taking notes tonight, on the far right side, you have motivation and inspiration. You draw a line backwards and before it, right? And you got your action. But more important than action, first before that, is accountability. Because the only way as humans that I've ever found that we can actually stay in action every day is through accountability. Guys, I'm telling you right now, if you've never been your own boss, find a way to keep yourself accountable. And most of the time, it's through other people. Okay. And you have to find somebody in your life that you're going to commit to allow them to hold you accountable to do the things that you say you're going to do. And listen, I know I'm starting off here like entrepreneur and stuff, but this is how you have to win if you're going to be in business for yourself. Okay. So these are some practices and some habits that you need to implement. Tell your wife, tell your husband, tell your spouse, tell your partners, tell your sister, tell your friend, whatever. Hey, I need you to hold me accountable because I'm committing to 1 hour a day in this business, or I'm committing to 10 hours a week, or whatever it is. And I want you to ask me every day if I did my hour, or every week how many hours I put in. It's not about the results, it's about the input, not the output. Okay. I don't care so much if you sign up 10 people this week as much as I do if you work 10 hours this week, if that's what you said you want to do. Because remember, this compounds. This compounds. At first, it looks like nothing's happening until all of a sudden it all kind of happens at once. That is how this business goes. Okay. So accountability. You must be accountable. Now, there is one thing that trumps all things, and that is your environment. Your environment trumps everything. So action precedes motivation, it goes before it. Accountability is more important than action, but your environment trumps everything. I'm going to tell you a quick story. In Vietnam, you know that war that seemed like it was never going to end? Our troops over there, 60 something percent of them, they thought were at one point addicted to opioids. It was like a crazy thing in Vietnam. All of our troops were doing heavy drugs, hard drugs, opioids, and they were addicted. And our government was incredibly worried that when they came back to the United States, that they were going to fall into, continue that, excuse me, and it was going to wreck their lives over here. So they started thinking about programs that they could put together and things that they could do to help them. Here's what happened. 65% of our troops were addicted to hard drugs. When they came back to the States, only 5% ever used opioids again in their life. Not was addicted, ever used it. Like, those are some of the most addicting things that our world knows about. How can you go from being addicted, 65% of you, to all of a sudden only 5% ever uses again? The answer was environment. You remove them out of that environment, you put them in a different environment, and that wasn't a problem. Okay? Your environment matters. These calls, the people that you hang out with, the people that you do life with, matters. Can I tell you the fastest way that you will fail in this business is if you surround yourself with a whole bunch of people that constantly talk down on you, are negative to you, Don't make you, it's like an elevator. When you get in an elevator, the people that you get in with, do they help you go up and rise to the floor above you, or do they help you go down? If you're with a bunch of downers, guys, it's going to be very hard for you in this business. If that happens to be your current environment, you've got to find a new environment through some of these calls. Like you have to. And then hopefully find a new environment even outside of these calls, right? But your environment matters. We say all the time, if you stay close to the fire, you will stay warm. When you start removing yourself from the fire, that means people that are chasing the same dream that you are, you will go cold really, really fast. And when you go cold, it's really hard to get warm again. Okay? So, environment trumps everything. All right. That's how I wanted to start this tonight and just share with you guys because I think that's very, very important. Now, I should have said this at the beginning. Congratulations. Congratulations for being a part of this amazing company. The hardest part of doing this is actually just hitting submit and joining and becoming a brand partner. That's the hardest part. Everything else can be taught. Everything else can be learned. Hardest part is saying yes, and you said yes. So congratulations. So what I want to do very briefly is I'm going to share my screen and I want to show you how a resource that we have that we think is really important for you because, and again, let me say this before I share. What do you think? You can build a really high paying job inside of LifeWave just yourself. Just yourself. You don't need anybody else. You can recruit enough customers that you can actually earn six figures a year through a customer base, or you can just one off continue to recruit individuals and you can earn very good money and have what I would call a high paying job. And if that's what you want, that's okay. But if you want a business, again, you're the entrepreneur, you decide. But if you want a business means um, you have a living, breathing thing that whether you're working it or not is still at work. So even when you're on vacation, your business is still putting in hours and working and making you money. That is a business. A high paying job would be if you're not putting in the effort, you're not getting the return. We're going after businesses. So what do you need in business, in this business, in order to create a very successful business? And that is duplicatability, duplicity. You have to be able to duplicate. I don't know what word's correct, right? But you have to be able to duplicate yourself. And you have to be able to have a system to where when someone joins, they can go through the same thing you did, and they can immediately do the same thing you're doing. That's what I'm about to show you. That's why this is so important. Okay? So let's go here. Okay. This right here is called Wellness Revolution. This is the website that some people on our team have created to help you guys duplicate yourself. Okay, so you can go to wellnessrev.org. And here's what I always do. Okay, this is what I do. When somebody joins, I say go to wellnessrev.org. You can click onboarding right here, or you can click get on board right here. I click get on board and I scroll down to the bottom. Oh, not that low. Oh, I'm sorry. We already moved this. We talked about this last week. They moved this to the top. At the very top, sorry, it says 20-day business launch system. This right here, guys, this is the most duplicatable, easy path to follow to get a new person all the information that they need to get started and to have success inside of this business. So when we sponsor somebody, we tell them go here, we say, hey, here's what you're going to do day one. You're going to click on day one and you're going to follow the steps. And you're going to go, belief follows action. All right, what is that? You click on that, and here you go, belief follow actions. And this is actually a video of myself talking about how belief follows actions. And then you go, oh, wow, I clicked off the whole thing. Hold on just a second. Apparently somebody was looking up recipes. That definitely wasn't me. Wellness Rev. I'm going to click onboarding up there. Day one. Second video, your 20-day launch system. Another video, 1 minute and 32 seconds.
And we have a
done by
20
Jay
day.
Atkins, right? And so what we have is we have created what we think is the best 20 days of onboarding, meaning the best ways that you can get your business launched. We teach you everything that you would need to know to launch your business, the resources that you need, the help that you need, the questions that you need answered, right? It's all right here inside these 20 days. Guys, this is where you want to spend your time. This is where you want to send your people, and you want to do it too if you've never done it so you know what they're doing. This is how you get them started. Because let me say this. You can always, like right now, Joe and I have been in this business a couple years. I could tell them everything that they need to know. They could call me every single day. I could answer all of their questions. I don't need any of this resource type stuff. However, I am not duplicating myself by doing that. And I am creating a high paying job instead of a business, right? And then guess what they're going to do when they sponsor somebody? They're going to say, "Oh, just call Kyle. He'll tell you everything." Or they're going to learn it and say, "Call me." Well, there's only so much of me and so little to go around. Does that make sense? That's not to say we don't answer the phone all day long and talk to people, but we want to make sure they know where the resources are so they can do it themselves and they can teach other people to do it themselves as well. As you grow in this business, guys, you're going to have dozens and hundreds and thousands of people that are going to join your team, and you cannot physically talk to all of them all the time. There has to be resources that are developed to help them. That's what this is for. That's what this does. Okay? So that's onboarding. You can go up here at comp plan. You can watch comp plan videos. You can learn a little bit about how we get paid inside this business. I will tell you this on comp plan. Um, don't stress about comp plan. Our comp plan, to be frank, is hard to understand because we get paid 9 ways, which is a lot. And it's hard to understand. At the beginning, you need to understand the basics. Your sponsor can help you with that, but you need to just understand the basics. And basically, you just need to go out and focus on those and don't worry about anything else because it can be confusing at times. You can go to resources, and there's a lot of goodness in resources. We have all kinds of things. Duplication through leadership presentation that Jay's done. Here's the opportunity call presentation that you see all of us do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We do opportunity calls, right? Here's an application for someone to join. Here's our 2-10-1 method that we're going to talk about. Everything that you need is here in resources. Now, speaking of this, what is the 2-10-1 method? Let me touch on that for just 1 minute. Guys, we believe that if you talk to 2 people a day, 5 days a week, right? 2 people a day, which is 10 people a week, that you're going to get one person to be in your business, whether a customer or a brand promoter. Okay. We believe, and we have the numbers to show you that if you would just do that and duplicate that, you will build a massive organization. See, this thing, you don't have to sign up 100 people in order to see great success in LifeWave. You need to talk to 2 people a day and try to sign up one person a week. That's what we're after. We're after simple, very practical things that you can actually do. Okay? That you can actually go out and accomplish. Nothing too crazy. That's that. I'll let you read that and go through that at any time if you want to. But that's kind of, you can look around on here. We have a community here inside of this, which is kind of the heart of everything we do, kind of shows you how to get plugged into our chats and things of that nature. But wellnessrev.org, that is where you want to go. Stop that real quick. So that's our website. That's our onboarding. That's how we do things. Now, what we try to do, let me tell you this. Here's what I try to tell. No, you can share, Norma, you can share this. Sorry, we had a question. Do you ever share that website with customers? I do sometimes. Absolutely, I do. Yeah, I'll share that as well, and let them have that and poke around and look around because there's a lot of good stuff and a lot of good information on there, especially on the resource tab. We have a testimonies tab that was right next to that, as you saw, that you can share with them as well. Guys, I'll tell you one more thing, and then I'm going to open it up for questions because I want to help anybody that has some onboarding questions here tonight. Uh, but I'll just tell you this, that I think you have found something with LifeWave that is not only unique, but really significant. Really significant. And if you're on this call, then I know that you're going to try to earn some money inside of this business. You're going to try to help other people, and by default, you're going to help yourself. And I just want to let you know that the only way that you fail here is if you quit. That's it. You will win in this business if you stick around long enough and if you continue to just talk to a couple people a day. It's inevitable because here's what we know. Remember this stat always. 80% of people that wear the patch, wear our X39 patches, 80% feel something in 2 hours, 2 days, or 2 weeks. But 97% have a testimony after 90 days. Your job is literally to try to get people to wear a sticker for 90 days. That's the hardest thing we do here. And if you can do that successfully, it takes care of itself. And guys, when people have physical health testimonies, they can't help but share. And so before you know it, you will watch your business start to grow with or without you in ways that you could never stop if you tried. Because health is the most important things in someone's life. And if you forget that and you've ever had a health problem, you remember that's true when you had a health problem. Nothing really matters. There's no problems in life like a health problem, right? That's what transforms people's life. That's what grows your business and your organization. Now, you want to throw some icing on the cake? People start earning extra money. They start paying some bills here. They start paying grocery money, then car payment money, then mortgage money, then replace their salary money, then bring their spouse home money, then they do this full-time money. Yeah, that's icing on the cake. People will never stop talking about that either. But it all came through people wearing a patch and their health getting transformed. And so I just want to encourage you, as long as you don't quit, this business will grow itself if you stick around long enough and just start it. What we do here in LifeWave is we start something that pays us over and over again. We've been involved for 2 years, as I've said. We have a lot of people that we sponsored our first month inside of this business. And to this day, every single month they order patches on repeat. Many of them I haven't really talked to very often since, to be honest with you, in 2 years. But every month, from the work that I did one time, I get paid every month. That's residual income. Also, every month, excuse me, every day that we wake up, we have people that have joined our team from somewhere in the world that we had nothing to do with. That is something that we are getting paid. Our business is growing without us. We have a true business, right? It's not only there if you're working it, it's there even when you're sleeping and on vacation. Whether we want to or not, it's going to grow. Why? Because we started something and we got the ball rolling, and now enough people know about it. It's helped enough people financially and physically that even if we stopped, our business could never stop. Does that make sense? That's what we're going after, guys, and that's what you can do. That's my cry to you guys is please don't stop before you allow yourself to experience that, because once you experience that, it takes one time. The first time that you experience that in any company, which this is the greatest company, the first time you experience it, your eyes have been opened to a new way of life that you can never go back to the old way. You just can't. Once you know, it's like, if you have your favorite restaurant and you went to it one time and accidentally got a peek in the kitchen and realized it was rather gross, and you're like, I can't now that I know, like I can't unsee it. I know, I that's this business. Once you know, you're like, I know, I now that I know, I can't even imagine not having this in my life and continuing to grow it because it's just freedom. This business should be called freedom. I mean, that's what it gives you, right, in every area. So that was 25 minutes. That was a long time for me on an onboarding call. So I want to take a few minutes here and open it up and allow anybody to ask a question that wants to. So if you have a question, you can raise your hand or you can just unmute. That's awesome. That means I did it really well. I covered everything I needed to know. No, I'm teasing. I'll probably have 1,000 questions. Oh, that's awesome, guys. Well, I just tell you, hey, listen, I appreciate you. I love doing this business with you guys. I'm honored to be a part of this team. You have great leadership. You know what's crazy is like you don't realize this until you actually get into action and get working, and then you realize I have some really cool people. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about a whole bunch of leaders on this team. I have some really cool people that work for me for free. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. You got a lot of really cool people that have done some really cool things in their life on this team that do calls every day, every week, and that'll get on the phone with you and your people that you couldn't hire in any other business. Like I couldn't afford them, you know? And we get to work with them and they work for us for free. Like this is such a blessing. So never forget that, okay? Never forget that. Get in the right environment, put yourself in the right mindset, hold yourself accountable, get into action, and you'll be more motivated and inspired than you ever want to be. You can go work this thing really hard every day and it never feel like work. Okay? Listen, I love you guys. Thank y'all so much for your time. Oh, did you have a question?
Um, well, I missed the very I missed the very beginning, unfortunately. But no, I wanted to thank you, and I'm just sorry, I'm scrambled. I had a thought that I wanted to get some. I was looking for the hand up. Well, go to Patrice and let me regroup. Then come back.
Okay. Did Patrice have a question? I didn't see that. I apologize.
Yeah, yes, I also kind of got in not right at the beginning. I don't know if you covered it already, but where can people go to like learn like how to talk with people and that sort of thing? Is there um a certain meetings for that kind of thing?
That's a very good question. Sometimes we do talk about that on these calls, and sometimes we do obviously talk about that on our Thursday training. So when you go to the Rev website, you can click on the calendar. You can see all of our training. Here's what I will say about that. Every conversation that you're going to have with somebody is going to be different. Okay. The way that your relationship with that person is going to be unique in its own right, just as my relationship with somebody I know is going to be unique. So I don't have a standard, I don't think any of us necessarily have a standard script to talk about it. But I will say this. One of the, you know, first of all, if you know them and they know you very well, I call them up and I say, listen, I just found something. Like I have something that I can't, I have my hands on something that is like maybe one of the biggest things I've ever found. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, no, you don't understand. Do you know anything about stem cells? Then I'm quiet. I don't say another word. You let them talk. Most everyone knows something. They're gonna say something like, oh yeah, maybe, I don't know. What do you mean? I said, did you know your stem cells are dormant? Like all of our stem cells are going dormant. That's why we age. And that there was a global patented product that just came out a few years ago that can bring your stem cells back to life. And it's proven scientifically that it actually reverses your age. It doesn't even anti-age it. And all of these people that I've been talking to, like their age literally is going in reverse. It's insane. The stories, the testimonies that I'm hearing, I can't even explain to you what's happening, all from just wearing this patch every single day. That's it. No diet change, no nothing. Like it's crazy. Let them talk. You know, something along those lines. They'll lead you where the conversation should go next. But that's kind of how I talk to somebody that I already know. If I already know you, it's hard for me to get off the phone without you committing to try it. Because if I know you, I know you probably can afford a cup of coffee a day at Starbucks. Don't like that place, by the way. But it's very expensive. But for less than a cup of coffee a day, you too can have maybe some of the best health of your life and reactivate your stem cells. So if you're one of my friends, I'm asking you to go at risk with our my credibility with you for 90 days and try this. I've yet to have somebody after 90 days tell me they regretted trying it. Okay? That's my friends. People that I don't know, it's even easier. Why? Because when you don't know somebody, what is like the second question everyone asks or fourth question everyone asks? What do you do? It's as simple as that. And when somebody, I always ask them first because then they're kindly usually going to ask me, right? Hey, what do you do? What keeps you busy? You know? Oh, I do this, this, and this. Great. And then I ask them a few questions about that. And I'll never like sit there waiting for them to ask me. But when they ask me, I'll be like, oh man, we're in the stem cell business, regenerative medicine. It's really cool. That's it. Guess what? There is never anyone that just goes, oh, cool, and walks away. They go, wait, what? I don't understand. What you're in the what? I said, oh yeah, we're my wife and I are in the stem cell business. We represent a company. We have this was actually it's just a little non-invasive patch you wear and it completely age reverses you. It awakens your stem cells. It's the cheapest, most natural way to do it, and it's just absolutely exploding all over the country. People go, "Oh, what? Literally, they're like dumbfounded. They're like, what? Then you can tell them whatever you want, right? Then you're open. And so that's how I do it. I am very big on less is best. I want to leave them wanting more. Everything I answer, I want them to be like, give me more. Or everything I answer, I want them to go, give me more, right? And then I'll give them as much as they want. But I will never give them too much. I will always just barely give them what they want and kind of let them lead the conversation. So hope that helps.
I remembered.
Okay.
when I came in, you were talking about one of the importance of accountability buddies at one
Yes.
part. And I'm just wondering, in terms of this wonderful wellness rev site that you have, because I don't really have that many people in my life who it would make sense to be an accountability buddy around this. And how, because what are there anything, is there anything already going to help match people up, or is there a way that we could have another Zoom scheduled time that you guys put out so that we could meet more people in this way
Yeah, it's a great idea. I
and
think the
have
way
like
that,
conversation chats and
sure.
group?
I think the way that people are doing that right now, to answer your question, is to the Facebook page. They're starting to connect through
Okay.
the Facebook page, the Wellness Rev Facebook page, which that link is also on wellnessrev.org underneath community. Um,
Uh-huh.
you know, go ahead. Oh, sorry. So I know that that has been really helpful for people. Yeah, maybe. I'd have to think through that, how we could do a Zoom like that. But I
Or just a
know
way, or maybe just it's a matter of us, I mean, not everybody is going to have that need, but
sure.
anybody who has a need is like, I really know that's a thing that I want. I need to just be matched with a couple other
I
people and
love
have
it.
some more introductions because I'm just a little more solo out here. And, Sarah's awesome for me at reaching out, but it's not going to be, I don't need her to be my accountability buddy on this
Yeah.
stuff.
I would
She's got,
highly encourage you to go to that Facebook page and start connecting with people.
okay.
There's a lot of really good people.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Just how to meet. Yeah. So anyway, as you guys discuss, I feel like if there's a way to create more of these Zooms where we can actually interact with each other
Awesome.
sometimes, random times during the day. I'm stay at home, so
Cool.
mom. So anyway, thank you though. I really
Yeah,
appreciate everything.
you're very
Your
welcome. That's a
training.
great idea. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Awesome. I think somebody else was unmuted. I didn't know if they had a question or not. Is it Elin? I hate to mispronounce anybody's name. Maybe that was an accident. Okay. Cool. Well, if nobody else has anything, okay, guys. Awesome. Thank y'all. Hey, great questions. Always appreciate them. So thank you so much. Y'all have a wonderful Monday. Great start to the week. So good to see all of you guys. We'll talk soon. Bye, guys.